So, we'll just be sitting cross-legged or in any comfortable seated position, and just take the eyes gazing down towards the floor. Or you can have the eyes closed, just as comfortable as you can be in your seated posture. And just thinking about getting a little length on the spine and just lifting and rolling the shoulders a couple of times. So you can settle back in to stillness. And then just watching your breath for a while and noticing where it comes to in the body. Noticing any little sort of holding patterns in the body of the shoulders and the jaw and around the eyebrows. So just inviting some softness into the body as the breath starts to help you to soften and relax. And you could just take some intuitive movements of the neck. So just moving in a way that suits you. Just gently rolling and easing out the neck. And continuing to keep the jaw soft and the shoulders relaxed and the breath still flowing as you rotate the neck. And as you come to the right hand side, just holding the gaze over to that side, and you might just tilt the chin up or down a couple of times and see if you can find a really sweet stretch on that side. And just holding for about 3 or 4 breaths. Again, relaxing the opposite shoulder. And then bringing the head up and over to the left-hand side. And the same thing on that side, so just resting with the gaze over to the left and tilting the chin up or down, or finding that little stretch that feels really good on that side, and holding for about 3 or 4 breaths. And then we'll come back to the center and then just circling the body round from your seated position. And you can still have eyes closed here. It's called Sufi circles, just gentle circling with a meditative quality rather than an aim on stretching anything in particular. So just this trance-like movement. As if you're winding in all of the attention that's been outward facing all day. So bringing back your focus to the inner world or the inner landscape, what's going on for you. And you could start to change directions with your circles as well. So not too fast and not too slow, just a gentle, easy rhythm. And then just bringing the circles inwards, smaller and smaller and smaller, until you're gently just circling on the spot and coming to a standstill. Then we'll interlace the hands together and press the palms outwards. And as you inhale, stretch the arms up and get a nice length in the armpits and the side of the body, holding the breath in. And as you exhale, bring the palms towards the belly. With quite a strong exhalation. Inhaling up. Holding the breath a little bit and strong exhalation. Inhaling up. Just one more. Lovely. And we'll just take the hands to the left hand side and bring the, let's actually just straighten out the legs a bit with the knees have been bent. So we'll just rub the knees and the ankles and just lean back on the hands to rotate the ankles a little. And go in both directions with your circles. And then just open the toes really wide and scrunch them up. Opening and closing. The feet really get overlooked most of the day, but they're just so important. They've got all these little acupuncture points that relate to the whole body. So just point the feet away from you and then push the heels away from you. As you point away, just soften the toes. And as you point the heels away, get a slight lift of the heels off the floor if you're really extending through the heels. So the calves, back of the calves stay on the floor, but the heels might just lift off. Alright, and then we'll just bend the knees and place the feet on the floor really wide, and then just drop the knees from side to side. And then we'll just come back to the center and we'll take the feet over to the right hand side. So we'll have the right foot tucked in next to the hip and the left foot is on the right knee. So you've got the shin bones straight in front of you and this one's tucked behind you. And then we clasp the hands together and take them behind the head again. So we'll open up the elbows, open up the chest on an inhalation. And as you exhale, bring the elbows together and curl inwards. So you inhale and open up the chest, open up the elbows. Exhale to bring everything in. And just going at your own pace. And you could think of it as the stomach controlling the movement here as well. So you could really use the abdominal muscles to draw the curl of the spine inwards. And then this time as we open up, just holding the elbows open and just bending to one side, it doesn't matter which side. So reaching the elbow towards the floor and one towards the ceiling. And then back to the center and over to the other side. The other side's a little bit harder for the balance. And then release the hands up towards the ceiling. And then we'll just take the left hand to the floor and the right hand onto the hip. And inhale here, and as you exhale, we're going to turn to look over the left shoulder. And so inhale back to the front. And exhale, picking up the right hip. So you're turning all the way over the left shoulder. So we're just moving with the breath backwards and forwards and in and out of that twist. To gently release the psoas muscle and the hip flexor along the front of the front of the leg there. So really nice one for stabilizing the hips. And this next time as you come to face the back of the room, just take the right hand down towards the floor as well and lengthen the spine. And we're just holding that twist there. Or if you want to, you could come onto the elbows as well. So just see which you prefer. So again, make those little checks of the jaw and the shoulders tightening and just softening into the breath. And then we'll prop back up on the hands again. So just on the left hand this time, reaching the right hand away from you, drawing nice big circles to open up the armpit and the chest. And just one more circle like that. And if you like, you can take the hand a little closer. This is an optional one, but lifting up onto the knees. So you're lifting the hips up nice and high and reaching up with the right hand, just depending how your knees are really, if you want to do this one. So you really can open up the chest and let the hand fall down behind you and let the head hang down, if that's okay with your neck. And then come to sit back down again and swing the legs out and over to the other side. So that the left foot is tucked in and the right shin is square in front of you. And then we'll start with the interlace. And if you can, remember to interlace your fingers the other way. That's always the Hatha yoga practice, is balancing everything perfectly. So inhale to open up the elbows and exhale, curling inwards. Just moving in time with your breath. Just waking up the spine. Just one more here. And then as you open up, we're opening up the elbows and then just bending over to one side. One elbow towards the floor and one towards the ceiling. And then the other side, just as a counter stretch. Back to the center, reach the arms up. And then the right hand to the floor behind you and the left hand to the hip. And then inhale here, and as you exhale, turning over to look over the right shoulder. Inhale back to the front and exhale around. And so just in and out of that twist a little bit. It's quite a gentle twist. But with quite a strong impact on the body, because all these muscles around the hips and the psoas are all quite deep in the body, so you don't necessarily feel too much all the time. So the next time you come to face the back of the room, we're just going to pause and place the left hand on the floor. And then see if you want to come down onto the elbows. If you've got the space in the back there, you can always do that. And then let's just prop back up on the hands so that we're on the right hand, and the left arm is drawing those lovely big circles to open up the left hand side of the lung and the chest. And just one more circle there. And we'll bring the hand a bit closer to the side of the body for that lift. So lifting the buttocks up, lifting the hips forwards and the arm up towards the ceiling. And if you want to, you can drop the arm backwards and drop the head backwards. And then come round to kneeling. So we're going to come all the way round to all fours. So just tuck one leg behind you, extend the leg behind you, tucking the toes under, and just press through the heel. Doesn't matter which leg. And the other leg as well. So just a couple of times each side to extend the hamstring. And then back to kneeling, we'll just tuck the toes under and unfold into a downward dog. So just gently exploring to begin with, so bending and stretching the legs. Wiggling around maybe from side to side a little bit. Or bending both knees deeply. So a bit like the wild cat that we do sometimes, just exploring it in your own way. And then just let the heels settle down so that the heels are slightly wider than the balls of the feet. The knees can be slightly bent if the hamstrings are feeling tight. And scoop the elbows towards each other so you've got good support for your shoulders. And just one more breath there. And then come back down onto your knees and onto the tops of your feet and sit back on the heels and bring the forehead to the floor for a child's pose. Just letting the body completely relax. And then we'll just creep the fingers away and come back up to all fours. Tuck the toes back into your downward dog. And we'll just walk the feet towards the front of the mat so that you end up folding forwards. You can just shake the head yes and no a little bit. And again, you can keep the knees quite deeply bent if you want to for this. Even the chest is sort of resting on the thighs if you want to. And if you feel a little bit more stretchy in the backs of your legs, you can straighten the legs. Keeping the crown of the head nice and heavy towards the floor. And then just start to lift the head and sweep the arms out to the side, up and overhead. And exhale the hands to the heart. So keep the gaze towards the floor if you're feeling a little bit dizzy from coming back up. So we'll interlace the fingers again as we did at the beginning and press the palms out and away from us. And then exhale to bend over to one side. Inhale back to the center and exhale over. Inhale back to the center and then let the fingers come apart and then we'll swing the arms. So we're doing that skier kind of swing. So you can really deeply bend the knees and let the arms swing And you can even come all the way down with a really strong exhalation to forward fold. So like you're chopping wood. And then let's come all the way back up. And then sweep the arms back down. So, I thought we'd do a little Egyptian salute, which is a nice variation on the salutation. So, the interlace of the hands is, I don't know if you can see, but I'm interlacing the last 3 fingers and pointing the 4 fingers. So that kind of look, Charlie's Angels kind of interlace. And then the feet are about hip width apart, or a little bit wider than hip width actually. So as you inhale, you lift the hands up, and as you exhale, you bend to the right hand side. And inhale back to the center, and exhale to the left hand side. Inhale back to the center, and exhale to bend and squat and point the arms forwards. And then inhale to stand, reaching the arms forwards still. Now let go of the hands and exhale to turn to the right. Inhale to the front, and exhale to the left. Inhale to the front. Exhale to squat and sweep the arms out, up and overhead. And exhale to squat and pointing the fingers again, and we're going to hold the squat. One more breath. Inhale to stand up. And exhale the hands to the heart. So again, interlacing the fingers the other way around for your mudra. And inhale to reach the hands up. And then exhale to bend over to the left. Inhale back up to the center. And exhale to the right. Inhale to the center. And exhale to squat deeply and reach forwards. Inhale to stand, reaching forwards. And exhale to turn to the left. So you can part the arms, the hands at that time. Inhale to the center. And exhale to the right. Inhale to the center. And exhale to squat and sweep the arms out, up and overhead, interlacing the hands. And squat down, pointing. And we're going to hold. Next inhalation brings us up. And exhale the hands back to the heart. So again, one more time, we'll finish with inhaling to reach up, pointing the 4 fingers, and exhale to the right. Inhale to the center, and exhale to the left. Inhale to the center, and exhale to squat, reaching the arms forwards. Inhale to stand, reaching forwards. Exhale, turn to the right, hands apart. Inhale to the center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale to squat, sweep the arms out, up and overhead, interlace. And exhale, squat and hold. Inhale to reach up and overhead, and exhale to bring the hands to the heart. Just letting the breath come back. So let's take the palms down by the sides so the palms are facing forwards. And you're just in mountain pose. So reaching up through the crown of the head. Nice and grounded through the feet. And then we'll come to take our stance wide so that the left foot is at the front of the mat and the right foot is towards the back, and you've got the left toes pointing forwards and the right facing sideways. And then the arms are open. And both legs are straight. And we're just going to reach the left arm up towards the ceiling so you get that nice stretch in the side of the body. So the right hand is coming to the back thigh and the left is reaching up. And then start to hinge forwards, sending the hips backwards as you come into a triangle pose. And the left hand can kind of settle on the shin or press out against the shin or even reach towards the floor so that your back is nice and flat and open. And inhale to come back up to standing, and then relax the hands and we can come back to the center and turn the right toes away. So the legs are straight and the arms are open, reaching the right hand up. And just getting the space in the side of the body there before we start to hinge forward, sending the hips back and tilting down. And you could take the gaze up towards the left hand if that's comfortable with your neck, or down towards the floor. And inhaling to come back up. And then just let the toes come in so you're facing the wide edge of your mat and you're just in a wide angle. So the heels can go out a little bit. And we could interlace hands behind the back. Roll the shoulders back and open up the chest. On an inhalation, lift up the chin, open the chest. And exhale to fold forwards, lifting the fists up high. And then inhaling to come back up to standing. And you know we're going to interlace the fingers on the other side. So roll the shoulders open once you've changed the interlace. Lift up the chin and exhale to fold forwards. Inhale to come back up. Undo the shoulders and then just creep the feet back in and rotate through the ankles or wherever you need to release. So you might want a couple of little movements in the hips or the shoulders, wherever might have picked up a bit of tension. And then for a standing balance, I was thinking we could go for the eagle. So we've done lots of open, we could just close in a little bit. So it's the right arm, the left arm over the right arm. So twisting the arms together. And if that's uncomfortable, you can always hold the shoulders instead. So inhale to lift up the elbows and exhale to tuck the elbows back in. And we'll just do that a couple of times. Just lifting and lowering to get that stretch on the back of the shoulders. And then with the elbows about chin height, and then just bend both knees and cross the left knee over the right knee. And the toes can be balancing on the floor, or you could even tuck the left toes in behind the right shin, right calf. And then you have your standing eagle pose. And then there's the little variation where you can start to hinge forwards and look ahead along your beak. You're poised on the edge of a cliff, and you could even unravel the arms and send them out and unravel the leg and send it back behind you and then take flight. Look at you all, amazing. That was a bit complicated, but you'll know it if you've done it with me before. We like that one. So we'll do it on the other side. So the right arm over top of the left. And then just that lifting and lowering. So inhale to lift the elbows. Exhale to tuck them in to the chest. A couple of times. And then leave the elbows about chin height and bend both knees and just crossing the right knee over the left knee. And then either balancing on the right toes or tucking the toes behind the calf. And then that option to hinge forwards, poised on the edge of a cliff. Unravelling the arms, unravelling the legs and taking flight. So the hands and the feet are nice and high, and then just gently lowering down. And then we just relax the shoulders. And we'll just come back to a seated position. Let's sit with the legs out in front of us. So the heels are, the toes are peeling back towards you and the heels are together and the hands are either side of the hips on the floor. So you're just palms down to the floor in this stick, this dandasana. So your core and your pelvic floor is really working to keep you in that shape. And then we'll raise the arms up on an inhalation. And as you exhale, just folding over the tops of the toes. And inhale to reach back up. Exhale back over the feet. Inhaling back up. And then exhale to reach forwards. And this time settling just wherever you come to with your fold. And you can let the forehead just hang down towards the knees. So again, do a little scan for tension held where it doesn't need to be held. And then lift up the head and come back up to your seated position and bring the feet in and drop the knees out. So you've got a triangle shape in between your legs. And you can have the heels tucked in as close as you like, and we'll just butterfly the knees up and down a little bit. So keeping the spine nice and straight as you're just bouncing the knees gently. And then you have an option to stay with this or to settle into your stretch. And I like to move the feet a little bit further forwards for that. And bring the elbows in front of the shins and hold on to the toes and then aiming the head towards the feet. So stop at any stage of that if it doesn't feel comfortable, or stay with the knees bouncing. So if you are holding the position, then just about 3 or 4 breaths. Stiram Sukham Asana. It's a steady, comfortable seated position, or a steady, comfortable posture, which is what all yoga postures should have, that quality. Just one more breath. And then just lifting up the head, coming back up And drawing the knees back together. And we'll come to lie on the back of the body with the knees bent. And just hug the knees in. So any little movements you like here, if you want to just keep the knees hugged in for a moment, or if you want to do circles or rocking from side to side, or hugging the nose right up towards the knees. So just a few moments exploring that position. And then we'll finish hugging the nose up towards the knees if you hadn't already. And a tiny little hedgehog ball. And then rest the head back down and take the arms out in a T shape on the floor. And let's just drop the knees down to the right hand side. And for this twist, you might want to hold on to the top leg with the right hand. And you could always turn the head out to look towards the left hand side. But if that feels too strong with the twist, you could drop the knees down a lot lower. Or you could keep the head towards the center. And then just after this next breath, we'll start to come out of the posture, bringing the knees back into the center. And then we'll just go over to the other side, hugging the knees in and dropping down to the left. And gaze over to the right. One more breath. And bring the head back up to the center and the knees back up with the feet on the floor this time. And then we're just going to start to lift and lower the hips. So a gentle bridge posture. So just lifting the hips up and lifting the spine up off the floor and then rolling back down again. Just easing really gently into the posture. Exhaling as you roll the spine onto the floor and inhaling as you lift up. And up to you if you want to hold the posture. I like to interlace the fingers underneath, reaching the knuckles towards the heels and just lifting the hips, getting really strong in the thighs. And you can just lift the toes and set the toes back down again just to make sure they're not clasping on. And release the hands and gently lower the back down to the floor again. And then see what you need to ease out, what little positions you might need. You might just want to do a full body stretch, or you may want like a happy baby, bringing the feet towards the ceiling and bringing the knees in towards the armpits. That feels good to me, but may not be what you need to ease up. So I'm just rolling from side to side in the happy baby, stretching the legs alternately as I roll from side to side. And then we're just gonna think about coming back to our resting posture, lying on the floor. So let yourself be really comfortable. If you have any cushions or blankets or pillows or anything that can make you more comfortable, we'll just be rested here for a few minutes. I'll talk us through a little bit of a practice, and then I'll ring a bell after a few minutes of silence to let us know that it's time to wake up. So just taking a few deeper breaths to sigh yourself onto the floor, completely relaxing the body and letting go of any sense of doing. And you could just visualize a bright light at the crown of the head, a warming glow, or you could even feel warmth. So see what suits you best, whether you can feel or see a light, and then just draw that light down into the third eye space and see it illuminate that space, the space between the eyebrows, and then let the light rest on the throat, bringing warmth into that space. And bring down the light into the heart and into the tummy and into the space of the womb and to the very base of the spine. So you've got this whole long line of light radiating through your Sushumna Nadi, your main energy channel. And then just visualize that light on the left shoulder, then the left elbow, and then the left hand. And traveling back up, placing the light in the throat space and on the right shoulder, right elbow and right hand. And coming back up to the throat center, back down to the heart, and radiating the light out into the left breast and the left side of the body, into the right breast and the right side of the body. Following the light down into the pelvis and shine the light into the left side of the hip and the right side of the hip, into the left buttock and the right buttock. See the light shining brightly on the left thigh, knee, shin and ankle, and in the left foot. And tracing the path all the way back up to the pelvis and over to the right hip. And see the light shining in the right thigh, knee, shin, ankle and foot. Following the light all the way back up to the pelvis and see the light radiating into the lower back, into the left side of the lower back and the right side of the lower back, and spreading across the middle of the back and across the back of the shoulders on the left and the right, up through the back of the neck, shining the light on the back of the head and the crown of the head. The tip of the nose and the chin. So feeling the whole of the head illuminated. And then noticing that the whole of the left hand side of the body that's illuminated. and the whole of the right hand side of the body, just glowing and radiant. Both sides of the body together. The back of the body, radiant and light, and the front side of the body, radiant and light. The whole body and the head, the whole of the body together. So just breathing a little deeper and bringing the attention back into the body again. And just wiggling fingers and toes, and wrists and ankles, and maybe turning the head from side to side. And gently just waking the body up with any little stretches that feel really good. And gently just ease onto one side of the body and rest there for a couple more breaths. Just nurturing yourself, this nurturing position of knowing how you feel right now and what you need for the rest of the evening. So listening in. When your body's relaxed like this, it gives you really good messages about what you need. And then bring yourself back up to seated in your own time. And we'll finish with our prana mudra, reaching the palms up in that gesture of connectivity and giving and receiving of energy, and really we need that more than ever right now, don't we, to give and receive to those around us. And bring the hands back into the heart, and giving thanks for whatever you're thankful for at the moment, whatever you're grateful for. Namaste.